not happen by chance or incidentally, but is an intentional effort to pass on the good news to others so that they become disciples or followers of Jesus. As we see, it is not just about talking about Jesus, but about talking with the intention that people become disciples. He also tells us what the disciples are like. 1. They are baptized in the name of the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. That is, they are included in a new humanity with a new identity. They are no longer identified by their race, language, nationality, economic status or gender. Their new identity is to be sealed with the identity of God's people. They are from God and for God, the God who is 3 in 1, the Father, the Son and the Holy Spirit. 2. We must baptize the disciples so that they are part of a community characterized by obeying the word of Christ. The disciples Christ wants, a people who are learning and living according to what he has taught. This is what characterizes a disciple, obedience to his word, not just knowledge of his word but obedience to his word. So, this is the challenge. Take the good news beyond us by going and making disciples of all nations. The word nations does not refer primarily to geopolitical states but rather to ethnic groups or human groups. The good news must reach all ethnicities or human groups. It is not enough for them to reach a country, but they must reach all the ethnic groups included in that country. 858. This is the size of the challenge, disciples of all ethnicities of the world. As described in John's vision in the Revelation, in which he saw a great multitude that no one could count from all nations, tribes, peoples and languages, a renewed humanity, diverse but united in the praise of the Son of God who brought them out of their darkness into his marvelous light. This is the charge that the Lord has left to his disciples. And this is Jesus' strategy. The disciples must in turn make more disciples. It all basically started with a group of a few disciples who, accepting the challenge, went and shared the good news with other people, making them disciples. These, in turn, went and did the same. And so, that uninterrupted chain has continued until today on the road to Jatia KM. 2, where there are disciples carrying the good news beyond themselves. Just like all churches where Jesus Christ is loved and preached. That is, and will be the purpose of the church on earth, to make disciples, baptizing them and teaching them to live like Christ. This is the mission that disciples must intentionally invest their lives in, because we are sent into the world to make disciples of Jesus. Now verse 19 begins with the word therefore, or in some versions therefore. These types of connectors in the Bible are like little flags that are raised, indicating that there is something very important that has been said previously, and that is the cause or reason why we should do something. In this case, we have been told that we must make disciples, and that therefore points us to the cause or reason why we must make disciples. The therefore points us to verse 18. Jesus then came to them and said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Sometimes we read this verse just in passing, without noticing the significance of Jesus' words here. It clearly says that he has all authority in heaven and earth, that is, in the entire universe. What is happening here is that Jesus is referring to a vision of the prophet Daniel in chapter 7, 13-14, where he tells us, in that night vision, I saw someone with a human appearance coming among the clouds of heaven. He approached the venerable elder and was brought into his presence, and was given authority, power and majesty. All peoples, nations and languages worshipped him. His dominion over him is an eternal dominion, which will not pass away, and his kingdom will never be destroyed. Jesus is saying to his disciples, I am the one that Daniel saw, to whom authority, power and majesty were given. I am the king whose reign will never pass away and will never be destroyed. I have all authority in heaven and on earth. There is nothing that is outside my power and authority. Through his life, death, resurrection, and ascension,